In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the latest release of Windows 10, build 9926 from Microsoft, so stay tuned. First thing I love about Windows 10, because I was able to test out Windows 8 when it came through, and I love that they're giving such a focus on getting feedback from the users. So as you can see here, I just clicked on Start. This is the new Start menu. You've probably seen this in earlier versions of Windows 10, but they have continued to refine it and to make it feel familiar to Windows 7 users, but also keep all of the new things that were introduced in Windows 8. But one of the apps here is Windows Feedback, and I love this app. It has really allowed the insiders who are testing Windows 10 to give feedback directly to Microsoft about what they like in the operating system. So we'll go ahead and click on Start here again, back to the new Start menu. And basically, it does look quite a bit different than what we've seen on Windows 7 or Windows 8, but I think once you use it for a little while, it will feel familiar no matter which ecosystem you're coming from. If you're coming from Windows 7, over here on the left, this is kind of everything that you had before. So up here at the top, the places, that's kind of where, you had the documents, pictures, control panel, my computer, all those links. It's kind of really all been consolidated here. So simply if you want to start looking for files, you just click on File Explorer, and that takes you to the Quick Access page, which at first I didn't like, but actually I do like this being the default view. It's kind of nice, the files that you're constantly using are going to show here. So some people will like this, some people won't, and that's fine. You can click on File Explorer and you can go right back to this PC. So you can, unlike in Windows 7 or Windows 8 where you were limited to these screens, the quick access is actually where you can build it yourself. So if I'm not interested in music, I bet you, I can unpin that from quick access and I can just pin the things here that I want. So go back to Start here. So you have places, and then underneath that you have most used, which, again, we're very used to that in Windows 7. You had the list of applications that were most frequently used. And there is a section that will appear below these when you install an application that'll say recently installed. So then here at the bottom where it says all apps, if we click on that, that actually gives us all of our applications, whether it's a Windows Store app or whether it's a program you've installed. And of course, if there's a bunch of apps on here where you're like, I don't really care about these things, you just right click and click uninstall. I think if you have a lot of programs, this may be a little cluttered, and especially because in Windows 7 you had all your programs in one place and then all your folders in another. And so here everything's alphabetized, which I think may just take a little time to get used to. I think in the end it's actually going to be easier to find stuff if it's all just alphabetized. Over here on the right we have the more modern live tiles, and I like this approach here because it kind of keeps everything still here on the screen so you can get the live updates. But at the same time, I would like to see these live tiles actually, it'd be cool if these tiles could actually be drug out into the desktop, which you can't currently do that. But they do have some more customizability with these now. So you can take the tiles and you can drag them and you can make new sections. So we could take, maybe some of our common applications here, and we can make a little group, and we should be able to name these groups. You can name whatever you want, and then you can drag around the applications. And of course, like you've always been able to, you can resize these to fit whatever you want. And again, you can uninstall them right from the Start page here. Another thing here is the power options have been given their own little button here, and then so shut down, restart, stuff like that, and then your user account settings or options have been placed in here under your username, and you have quick links to change your account settings, lock the computer, and sign out. Now let's take a look at one of the one of the features of Windows 10 that has the potential to be very exciting and very huge. Right now it's still in early development, but it's pretty exciting to see what they might be able to do with it in the future. Hey Cortana. So there we have it. Voice activated, you just say hey Cortana and it'll come up and prompt you. And what you would normally do in natural language there is say hey Cortana and then the task that needs to happen. So I should be able to do hey Cortana, search my documents. So now it brings up all the documents that are on my computer, and I've done all this without touching the mouse. And so this is actually really cool, and I think has a lot of potential. Hey Cortana, what's the weather? I don't know if it's coming through, if you can hear her response, but she is audibly giving me a response back to what I'm requesting. And so for me, the potential with this is you could almost hook this computer, you could almost have a computer in your living room with a microphone and, ask that computer, with Cortana always listening to those keywords, and really have a smart computer that's voice activated right in your living room. So again, I think this has a lot of potential, and it needs a lot more development too, but it's actually really got a lot of stuff to it. Here, if we click on the little settings here, we can see similar settings to like Cortana would have on the Windows Phone, and we can go in and configure what she does. Now, you don't have to use voice. You can simply just click in the box down here, and you can type whatever you're looking for. So let's say I want to, I don't know, I'm just going to make up something. Let's say I want to change my password. So I just type in change password, and then the top option here, which it'll basically give you a recommended option, and then I can click on that, and it brings up a frequently asked questions on how to change my password. Now you can do all sorts of things. You can have like change Bluetooth settings. So it allows you to naturally search for things on your computer, which I think is great because often it's like, I don't know, when you went to the classic control panel, which I'll open that up, which still is here. So you had the classic control panel. It's like, I don't know where that setting's at. And so I like now that you can search even into those settings. So speaking of the control panel, let's take a look at the new settings or control panel. And I think Windows 10 has really come a long way in making this a suitable substitute for the classic control panel that we were used to in Windows 7. In Windows 8, they definitely caused a huge fragmented issue where constantly settings weren't in the new control panel and you had to go to the old control panel, and it just felt very broken. There are still things in Windows 10 currently that aren't in the new settings page, but it's definitely a lot more than it was before. So I'll just go real quick and do a couple of these. So immediately in System, I can see here the display settings. So I have Windows display settings right here in the new interface. All sorts of things, notifications I can pick and turn on and off. Applications. So okay, I don't want news notifications. I can turn that off. So it gives you a lot of control and customizability over all that. But it's pretty cool. I don't know what this is yet. It says save locations, and it looks like you can change where stuff gets saved to. Now right now my only option is this PC, and so I have a feeling they're going to change this so that I don't know. My guess is, and this would be really cool, is that you could save it directly to OneDrive. So right now OneDrive synchronizes files, but if you're on a tablet or something with small storage, it would be great so that you could configure Windows to say, hey, save all my new pictures and all my new videos to OneDrive. So they actually wouldn't save to the physical device, they would immediately save to the cloud and be accessible through that. Or, like you can see, I have different drives here. It'd be great if I could even change and have it saved to a different drive. Now this is another cool thing that was in earlier builds of Windows 10, but in case you haven't seen it yet, you can now pin to corners. Here, you can see it better in File Explorer. Can pin to corners. Alt-Tab brings up the task switcher like it always has in Windows. But they also added this icon down here at the bottom for task view. And this allows you to, at a click, bring up all the applications that are running on your computer. And I have applications even on my other 2 monitors, which you can't see, but it's showing me the applications that are open on that screen. You can actually get multiple desktops. If you go down here at the bottom, you can click Add a Desktop, and you can add a fresh new blank desktop, and you can open up your own program on that, and then you can switch back and forth. So now if I go back to this file explorer that was open on another desktop, you'll see the little animation there where it kind of shifted everything. And that's because now if I go back to task view, you'll see down here at the bottom, I actually have more than one desktop. And if I hover over that, it'll show me the applications that are open. And at any point, the taskbar at the bottom is unified across all those desktops. So if you forget you have another desktop open, it doesn't matter because it'll still show, and you can probably see this little line underneath like File Explorer here. If I click on that, it again shifts back to the desktop that contained that file. I'm really excited for Windows 10, but I'll admit I am hesitant because I know there's a lot of expectation. People that are using Windows 7 love Windows 7, and there's nothing wrong with Windows 7. And so to upgrade to Windows 10, there's got to be good reasons to do that. And so I think that Windows 10 is offering enough for people to want to do that. There's enough power user features, entice people to be able to upgrade. The customizability and stuff like that I think is things that people are going to want. And there's enough new features and exciting features to maybe get your hands in and start messing around with. Visually, Windows 10's been revamped. I think they finally got the minimize, maximize, and close buttons looking nice. In earlier builds, these looked pretty wonky. And what's nice now is that they actually match, for the most part. There's slight differences, but they do match across classic applications and modern applications. And I think that was something huge that was broken in Windows 8 was modern applications were 100% optimized for tablet. They opened full screen, and the classic applications were optimized for mouse and keyboard and didn't really work with touch. So you can see here classic and modern applications open together. They work the same way. And if I show you here real quick, even though I'm using mouse and keyboard, I can switch over to tablet mode. If I click down here in the bottom right, which you could also get to this by swiping in from the right on a touch device, I get the new notification center, which will show you, emails, notifications. It's pretty much the same as like your notification center you had on your phone. But if you look down at the bottom, there's a couple quick settings, and if I click expand, it'll show all the available settings on this machine. And one of them is tablet mode. And now once I click this, it'll turn Windows 10 into its tablet mode, which again, this was something that was greatly needed to allow the device to work well with a mouse and keyboard and also work well with touch. So when I click on tablet mode, all my applications go full screen. And so when you're in tablet mode, you can actually swipe down from the top to close these applications. Right now, I think because I'm using a mouse and keyboard, that's actually not working too well. So if I'm in tablet mode, that's fine. If I want to go back, I just click tablet mode again, and I'm right back to where I left off with all my windows nice and neat. Couple other things, they are working on completely revamping the store. And so the Microsoft Store will be merged. From what I understand, it's going to be able to have apps, games, music, videos, all the Microsoft Store services merged into one centralized store, which I think is a great move on their part to really get everything centralized for Windows so that you don't have to deal with a bunch of different apps that feels fragmented. You can really have it all together. And the Xbox app has been overhauled too. And while I'm skeptical on this as to an Xbox app on PC, I do like the general concept of this. I can communicate with my Xbox friends through this app, and I haven't really got to engage too much in it yet, but I like that it begins to bridge this gap between PC gaming and console gaming, because I think they both have their advantages. I'm a PC gamer. I'm all about PC gaming, and I think that's for me personally, that's where I'm putting all my resources into. I don't own an Xbox, so I think this is actually a great little app to hopefully bring that together. They talked about some games that would actually be able to be played on PC and Xbox, and you could game together. Again, anything that Microsoft can do to bring its products together and to merge them, I think is good. It'd be awesome to see even Skype maybe be integrated into this at some point, to where you could, Skype with your Xbox gamer friends while playing a game, while recording the game on your computer. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities here. But at the same time, they need to, gaming on the PC needs to be gaming on the PC. It doesn't need to become another Xbox experience on the PC, because that's why I don't have an Xbox. Like, there's certain things I like being able to do on the computer when it comes to gaming. They acknowledge that Windows 8, they didn't get it quite right. In some of the earlier developer conferences, they admitted that, hey, we didn't get it quite right. And they know that they have a bunch of people that are running Windows 7. So they're not being ignorant to what happened. And so I think that admitting of that and saying, hey, we're building Windows 10 for the people who love Windows 7, and we're building Windows 10 for people that love tablets and touch devices and love the features that came in Windows 8. And we're adding a bunch of new stuff. I love that they're giving Windows 10 for free to anybody with Windows 7 or Windows 8. Now, clearly, they want to do that because they need everybody to upgrade to Windows 10 so they can get developers behind Windows 10 and so they can get everybody onto the new operating system. I get that. I do like the idea that, here's the thing, like, Microsoft is transitioning into more of a services company, but ultimately they're a software company. And so for them to put all this money into Windows 10 and then give it away for free means they're truly standing behind their product. A company like Apple can give free operating systems updates because they sell their own hardware. When you buy a Mac, that money you are paying for that Mac pays for the hardware, which Mac makes money on, and it pays for the software upgrades that you're getting on that machine. When you go out and buy a Dell, you're buying the hardware from Dell, and you're buying the license that Dell purchased from Microsoft. So giving a free upgrade for Windows 7 and Windows 8 does mean that they believe in this product and they want to get everybody there, that they're committed to it. Yes, in the long run, they want everybody there because they want to make money on the App Store. They need people to, developers to be on board for that to happen. So I'm not saying they're the perfect company, but I am saying that it is good to see them believe in their product enough to say, hey, we're going to give it to the community for free. So enough on that. I thank you for watching the video and listening to me ramble on about Windows 10. I'm really excited for it, and I think that this is really going to be an exciting release of Windows. A lot of new features that I think are actually useful, and I'm really excited to see how this continues to develop. So if you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and give it a dislike. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and click the subscribe button below the video. And you can also check out my website at techtipguru.com for more reviews and helpful tech tips. Again, thank you for watching.